SGC here. We are back for First Impression Warrior Season 1, Episode 1. Created by Jonathan Tropper, and apparently Justin Lin created this. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Hold on. So according to Wikipedia, it's created by Jonathan Tropper and Justin Lin, and it's off Cinemax. And it's renewed for a second season. So that's a great plus, because I actually enjoyed this. So if you didn't know, this is actually based off some writings that Bruce Lee had for a TV show that he never actually got to create. So the lowdown, it's set during the Tong Wars in the late 1870s, San Francisco, California, and the story follows this guy called Assam, and he's a martial arts prodigy who immigrates from China, and he becomes a hatchet man for the most powerful Tong in Chinatown. So there's that, and it's typical Cinemax. Jonathan Tropper also created a Banshee, so that's like a lot of sex, a lot of violence. You expect to see boobs every episode. I mean, also Cinemax has also that Strike Back series. I mean, it's typical Cinemax. And speaking of Banshee, we have actually, what's his face? Hoon Lee, who plays a black market arms dealer. He was also in Banshee, and he was pretty chill, and he's pretty chill here. So yeah, let's just get down to the first episode. It was an interesting one. So the main guy, Assam, is actually a Japanese-British dude. So he has really bad Cantonese, but perfect English, because his grandfather is an American. And then also Hoon Lee is Korean. He also speaks like really bad Cantonese, but you can't blame them. But they all speak perfect English. So which is the caveat here is that there's scenes where they actually speak English, but in a narrative they speak Cantonese, which is a great plus, because it's just recognizing that, you know, they speak Cantonese, but it's just for the audience's sake that they're speaking English. Jason Tobin is in this, and he plays Young Jun, and he's like a great friend, and he's actually he speaks fine Cantonese, and it's a really great Asian cast. We have Vietnamese people, we have Koreans, we have Japanese, and we got Perry Young. That's pretty crazy. And Joe Taslim is in this too, so that's pretty badass, from like The Raid and The Night Comes For Us fame. So that's cool. So, and also the guy that choreos the fight sequences are from Iron Fist, which actually got me worried, but then watching some of it, first episode, whoa, okay, hopefully it delivers. Like, some of the shots are done well, but the choreo is like not that too complicated, but I still appreciate it. It's badass to have some Chinese people beat up some white people in that 1878 context, as in like, don't mess with the martial artists. So yeah, I think as a first episode, it sets up a lot of things that it's kind of new in a sense, where you had the whole slavery thing done a lot for Hollywood, where there's a lot of racism going on between the whites and blacks. Here it's like after the Civil War happened in San Fran, we have a lot of Chinese people coming over from China, taking over a lot of jobs because they, you know, pay us less, we'll just do it, whatever, it still beats China. So you got the whites hating on the Chinese, but at the same time, the whites are hating on the whites because of Civil War. So that brings up an interesting dynamic. And then you got the Tongs, whatever that means in Chinese, I actually don't know. I hate it when they don't translate the thing, but I guess there's no English equivalent of Tongs and what have you. I do believe, and I just assume that they did their 1870s historical research, because there are some times where I feel like they speak English and I'm thinking the translation in Cantonese, I'm like, is that an insult? For example, they called the white people ducks all the time, and then sticky as in sex, and there's also onion, like calling the noob, the green guy, the itchy onion. What does that mean? Someone enlighten me. Like, is that an 1870s insult for white people to be called ducks because they're in a pond? Yeah, that's also where the white people reside, the pond. So there's that. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, I think it's great that they're doing the narrative in English, because then everyone can watch it. But the coolest thing I really appreciate about this series so far is that when white people are around, you hear Cantonese. Granted, it's still, if it's like our lead or Hoon Lee that speaks it, it's like just choppy, very accented Cantonese. But the fact that a white person shows up on screen and they hear that narrative, and they reflect that. And then Hoon Lee, who speaks perfect English in his scenes, when he interacts with the white people in English within the narrative, it is like some fobby English. So that's great, because they recognize there is language barriers, and I love it. I mean, granted, they really got around the whole like subtitling a lot of things. They do subtitle the Cantonese in this, and I need it because sometimes the accent is just so bad that I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. And yeah, I think almost the biggest gripe I have is just when they get like this, when they get like anecdotes, or I don't even remember the grammar thing, but they're like, you got me, I got you, like that type of stuff. It's just like, I understand they'll say like it in Cantonese, but it just feels off for me. But overall, I am glad that it exists. I mean, Cinemax, so expect a lot of like boobs. I don't think there's frontal nudity for men, and it's not like stars nudity. So there's that. But there's a lot of F-bombs, so it's kind of funny, because it does sort of reflect that Cantonese culture of just F-bombs, everything. So yeah, I look forward to it. I'm glad the second seasons have been renewed, and definitely look into this if you were into the Badlands or something. I think at least the whole selling point of this is like untold stories of Bruce Lee. I think it gives it a chance. I mean, Andrew Koji, the guy that plays the lead, he's pretty chill, silent, like stoic type, and I wonder where it's gonna go. Is he gonna climb the ranks with a tong or whatever? But yeah, F-bombs, violence, nudity, Chinese, and a lot of racism going on. I think for me, it's like the first time where I felt so angry at a movie, because it was like, I felt like it was directed to me. Like sometimes a lot of the racism in Hollywood movies is like, oh, I feel for you. Like I'm angry that this white person's treating this black man like this, and like I sort of get it, but not to that level because I'm not black. But then this time they're like, you slanty eye MFers or whatever, slanty eye douchebags, or slanty eye motherfuckers, or something to that degree. I'm just like, holy crap, these guys. And then I know they keep using chinks, and it's just like, oh, okay, we're going there. I guess it just reflects, it really reflects how things were seen. I mean, also, there's the Irish that's also there. So the Irish is getting screwed over by the Chinese because they're taking up jobs. So there's so much conflict. So it's really nice to see. And then the gore. Oh, I forgot about the gore. The gore is pretty intense. When they go like chopping people's limbs off, it's pretty intense. So anyways, I can't wait for the rest of the season, and just hopefully more people will watch it. I guess it's hard because it's off Cinemax, so that's it. But at the same time, I feel like being on Cinemax really helps it. Like if it was on Stars, it would be kind of weird. I think Spartacus is on Stars, or was it somewhere else? I don't know. But it's not on HBO, so like it won't be on HBO because it's definitely not like Peaky Blinders type of polish. So there's that campiness to it in terms of the sets. There was one Joe Taslim and Andrew Koji's fight, the first fight. They're like all these like banners on the wall, and I seriously swear that they all had just dragon written all over them, or just one dragon, like the word dragon, and it was all repeated. And I was just like, this is kind of weird. I thought they would get like different scrolls type of thing, but who knows? I don't know. I'm not informed. But anyways, so that's that. I enjoyed it for what it is, and yeah, keep watching, keep liking, and subscribe, and sharing is caring. And that is it for this first impression of Warrior Season 1, Episode 1. Out.